everyone, how are we today? Just doing a quick all signs reading today. We are going to be looking at any important messages needing to come through for you. So this is in place of the weekly readings, just doing a couple of all signs readings this week because we will have that big shadow work reading over the weekend. So definitely keep an eye out for that. Make sure you are subscribed and you've got your notifications on so that you do get notified of that. I am today going to be using the Forest Spirits Oracle cards as well as the Whimsy lenormand. I do apologize for any coughing or sniffling. I have still got a bit of a cough. It's driving me a bit insane, not going to lie. But we will sort of get straight on into it today, starting off with Aries. Okay, Aries, the important messages Aries needs right now. What's the important messages for Aries, please? Most important message for our Aries. We have the wood nymph energy coming through, the magic touch. Okay, that one does say use your gentle touch and intention to restore balance and heal yourself and others. So a lot of healing going on for you at the moment, needing to kind of ground yourself very strongly so that you can, balance those gentle energies within yourself, the things that will sort of, help you heal with all the more fiery side of your nature there, Aries. Definitely needing to balance yourself and ground yourself down into that gentle, nurturing energy a little bit more there. Aries, important messages for our Aries. What's important for Aries to know right now, please? Relatively straightforward here, Aries. And this is maybe why you're needing to just be gentle and, using positive intentions to restore balance and heal yourself, because we do have the past coming up for you at the moment here. It is still Mercury retrograde as well. So sometimes this is an energy that does come up quite a lot in the retrograde area. So we do have the mouse there, which does talk about the past, something that you thought was sort of lost to you, taken from you. Probably still, you probably do still think about this quite a lot. It eats away at your energy a little bit, eats away at your thoughts. But it's something from the past or someone from the past that, you feel as though that was lost to you in some kind of a way. But we do definitely see incoming communication. Okay, we have the letter followed by the rider there. So the letter is an expression. It's a communication. It's something being given to you. Good news on the way with the rider there. So it quite straightforward. It is, communication, in the form of news coming towards you. So you may be hearing something about somebody, hearing something about something from the past. You may be getting direct communication as well. For some of you there with the rider, that can actually be somebody showing up at your door, or it could be, driving to you, the rider is equal to the chariot in tarot as well. So, the past is definitely on its way to you in some way, shape or form. Even if that's just, something from the past is being communicated to you, you are getting some sort of an expression from the past coming your way. I will just see if we can get a bit of extra clarity here. But this is all about healing for you here, Aries. Any extra clarification for Aries in regards to who, what, why we're getting this message from the past? We have the masculine coming through. So for some of you, it's got to do with a father figure, a masculine energy. May not necessarily be your father, but for some of you, it could be a father type role. Somebody very non-emotional, very, it's very logical, rational information coming towards you. It's just very, And it may have to do with a relationship with that person, or a pattern, or a cycle with that person. So I do feel for a lot of you, this is a person, communication with a person or about a person from your past that you know, it feels like you've lost that relationship. So maybe somebody's wanting to rekindle that relationship. You know, it's definitely feeling like it may just be also you're getting some sort of communication about the cycle that relationship was in the past, that you're seeing some sort of pattern or cycle. So it definitely could be. So I'm picking up for someone here that it's communication or news of, like, because I do feel for at least one of you here, this is you're hearing about somebody from your past, and it's kind of like, oh, they've done the same thing to somebody else as what they did to me, that kind of thing. So it's like you're seeing that it's a pattern for this person. So you're seeing evidence of a pattern for this person, and or that's being communicated to you in some way. But this does seem to be coming through in order for you to restore balance within your own self. It's kind of like validation in a little bit of a way here, but a little bit of closure for some of you. But it's for your healing, you know. So it does feel more like, you know, validation that that was this person's pattern, not necessarily you. You know, rather than, you know, in that sort of sense, if that kind of makes sense. You're more than welcome to check your other placements. That may actually give you a bit of extra insight into what's going on here, especially your moon sign being so close to the full moon. Make sure you do subscribe, and we will move on over to Taurus. Okay, Taurus, important message for our Taurus. What does Taurus need to know right now? Ooh, we have the Toad spirit, which talks about taking a leap of faith. So you're sort of jumping, you're taking a leap at the moment there with that toad spirit or frog spirit. To be honest, I think that looks more like a frog than a toad. But anyway, jump in fearlessly, knowing that every small step counts towards your ultimate success. So it's kind of asking you to jump in regardless of, you know, fear and things like that. That even if you know, jump into something and it's not quite right, that it's a step towards being fearless and towards your ultimate success. That you know, sometimes you do have to take that leap more than once before you land on that lily pad that you're aiming for. But we'll clarify that for you as well, Taurus. What's the most important message for our Taurus? Important messages for Taurus, please. Okay, so for a lot of you, this has got to do with your finances. Okay, we have the fish coming through first. For some of you, it may be something to do with the Gemini. That is the Gemini card. But the fish really does talk about your sense of abundance, your wealth, your ultimate success in this world. You know, mostly on a material level, especially with what I'm seeing next. We have the fox. So the fox here, he does like to, you know, stick a little bit more to material stuff, be a bit more logical and whatnot about things. So I dare say for a lot of you, this has got to do with, you know, taking a leap of faith when it comes to your finances. And, you know, even if it's not your actual finances, it's the way that you're approaching your finances and things like that. The fox is very clever about the way that they approach things, but they still do what needs to be done. All right, so we do what needs to be done, and we're very clever and very, you know, even sometimes a little bit sneaky about those things, because we have our ultimate survival in the back of our mind with that. Especially here too, we have the house. So, you know, for some of you, this may be sort of leaping into the unknown, making decisions for the survival of your family, making decisions for the survival of your, you know, the foundation of your home, your actual home. So you may be sort of jumping in fearlessly to protect your home in some kind of way, do something in order to focus more on the long-term success of that property. So for some of you, it's kind of like, well, we need to do this now in order to, protect this home for the long term, that kind of thing. It could be something to do with the foundation. Or home security as well. The house really does talk about, security and stability, and the best way for you to find security and stability in your life as a whole right now is to, be very clever with your financial position and do what needs to be done for you and your own survival in the situation, okay? Pardon me, Taurus. Like I said, I am still getting over this cough, and it's doing my head in a little bit, not going to lie. But that's what we have for you today, Taurus. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course, see what else is going on for you. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to our Geminis. Okay, Gemini, important message for our Geminis. What's the important messages that Gemini needs to hear? Important message for Gemini, please. Starting off with the Hawk Spirit. Okay, so this is clear vision. This is like, flying above something so that you can see from that bird's eye view every little thing that's going on, not just the thing that you're looking at, but everything that's going on around that. It does say rise above any adversity and seek clarity as you ascend and achieve true greatness. So it's definitely about, sort of stepping back a little bit or stepping above a little bit the situation and looking at the situation in its entirety. Rather than just the one little thing that is the adversity. So I do feel that for some of you, there may just be a few little rough patches this week, but it's asking you to step back and find clarity in a more objective way about those situations here. Gemini, important messages for Gemini. So this is kind of giving me a little bit more information about what that potential adversity is involving for you, because, we do have here the garden coming through first. So this is, and followed by the rider. Okay, so the rider is kind of, some sort of news on the way. So that news is coming to you from the garden, and it is creating this mountain energy, which is that adversity. It's a little bit of a, a speed bump along the journey here. It can be, a little bit of a delay that's affecting you, an obstacle in some kind of a way. It does feel quite small here. It does feel like something that you can rise above quite easily. It's just maybe going to take a little bit of extra perseverance and determination to do so. Once again, that hawk can fly above the mountains, so we already know that you are able to get over this without much drama. You just need to sort of go back and check it out from afar and get that clarity to work out how to approach that mountain. But the news on the way from this garden, the garden is a meeting. It is, for some of you, it's going to be a social event that does sort of create some more problems. It may just be a little bit of, drama and just not being able to compromise with people on a more public social sort of aspect. So for some of you, though, it is like an actual meeting that's taking place this week. So you're actually meeting up with somebody and they are bringing news to you of, oh, look, sorry, this speed bump is in the way. So it could be like a meeting with your boss. It could be a meeting with a friend, those sorts of things as well. It could be a date energy as well. That is my date card. I feel like maybe only a very small percentage of the Geminis that would be a date, but it seems to be more to do with some sort of public or social event, or area of your life where you are a little bit more public, a little bit more seen, a little bit more sociable, and some sort of meeting that puts a spanner in the works a little bit here, just puts something that you need to overcome in a little adversity, I suppose. Once again, rise above any adversity and seek clarity as you ascend. So as you ascend this mountain at the week here, to achieve true greatness, you do just need to rise above that and find the clarity, and understand that, that you're going to have a clearer idea of what this is, in a couple of days anyway, because this is coming directly to you with that rider. The news of this obstacle will be sort of placed in your lap, so to speak. Someone's going to meet with you in some kind of a way in order to let you know about this adversity, this obstacle that's in your path. But keeping in mind that you will be able to find your way over that relatively easy. It's just sort of a little speed bump this week, Gemini. Sometimes it's giving a little bit of that energy of no news is good news. So it's kind of like, when I'm asking for important messages, if there's nothing hugely dramatic going on for you during the week, it's going to bring the next most important thing, which is just this little speed bump for you. Okay, but that's what we have for you. You are more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel, and we will move on to Cancer. Okay, Cancer, important messages for Cancer. What does Cancer need to know this week? Leadership, we have the stag spirit coming through for you. That's all about leadership, standing tall and strong and taking charge. Okay, stand tall as your true self and lead with confidence, integrity, and compassion. So you are just needing to take the lead with something or with someone this week. Okay, Cancer, you're needing to be the boss of your own life here this week, and not answering to anyone else. You're the one taking charge. You're leading the charge yourself this week, Cancer. Important messages for Cancer this week, please. What's the important message for Cancer here, please? Okay, so we do firstly have the stars coming through here. So for some of you, there may be an Aquarius or an Aries in play, or Aquarius or Aries energy, whether that's yours or somebody else's in play this week, because I do have both of those signs represented here. But the stars really is about, having a lot of hope and optimism, doing things with your goals in mind. So, thinking about, what it is that you wish for, the ideal outcome of a situation, and having that in mind, and acting accordingly, acting with love. We have the heart here, remembering what we're truly wishing for and how we truly feel about people and situations as we move forward into them. So that's your compassion coming through there, your confidence that we're going to reach our goals, reach our dreams, have our wishes come true. And then we have compassion for those around us as we move forward, and we're acting out of love this week, and bringing people into that little heart space with us as we move forward this week. We have the stork there as well. So needing some new ideas to get stirred up for you this week as well. So it's approaching things maybe in a different way, and really, coming from this backing here, this stars and heart, where you're really trying to stir up a new idea on how I can act more out of compassion, act more out of, following my dreams here, acting more, from a place of love, stir some stuff up, stir people into action as well. I'm getting, because you're taking on such a sort of leadership role this week, you're really needing to stir other people into action around you this week, with, once again, the wishes and the love in mind there. You're moving in a way that is very compassionate and understanding this week, trying to, take others with you on this positive, optimistic, hopeful, loving kind of energy, and you really just stirring some stuff up so you can get some things moving. It's really just a week of trying to get things moving and trying to come up with new ideas, new perspectives on how to do that in a more compassionate way. Okay, so whatever's feeling a little bit stalled, it's time for you to take charge this week, Cancer, and you sort of going horns first. You're the one leading the charge this week, and doing so in a very, embracing and loving kind of energy as well. So it's actually quite positive message for you, Cancer, that you're leading by example, I feel, for some of you there as well. But that's what we have for you today. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to Libra. Of course, not Libra, Leo. My bad. I'm jumping the gun, getting a bit excited there. So there may be something to do with Libra for the Leos and the Cancers there as well. But moving on to our Leos. Leo, the important messages for you this week. Important messages for Leo. The Rabbit Spirit. Quick results. Quick results for you this week, Leo. Move swiftly to realize your dreams and adapt to new situations with grace. Okay, so kind of like hop to it this week a little bit here, Leo. Hop to it. If you want those results, you need to sort of get moving, hop to it, just jump on in, and you will have quick results from any actions that you're taking this week. Okay, but we'll have a look here as well. It's also very adaptive energy, that it's kind of if you're, I don't know if you've seen rabbits out in the wild. If they're being chased, they will zigzag. They won't hop straight. They'll zigzag. So you're being very adaptable, and you're sort of keep them guessing kind of energy as you're making quick moves this week. Leo, what's the important message for Leo this week, please? So this is a very interesting message for you, Leo, because straight away I have the Rider, okay, which is some sort of news on the way. And the news that is coming your way, though, it does talk about the whip here. And I feel the need to add as well, the Rider, it quite often, it's very equal to the Chariot card in tarot. So quite a lot of the time it can talk about transportation issues as well. With the whip here, I am picking up on, like car troubles, transportation issues, those sorts of things for some of you there as well. So if you want quick results with that, you need to make sure you get on top of that very quickly, and it can be resolved quickly as well. So just as a side note for a couple of you there may be some transportation issues, car troubles this week. Okay, but with the good news on the way, generally is good news on the way. So it's, I do say, even if you are having some sort of car issues there, it's kind of good news. Get it sorted now, so that's out of the way, and that it's not going to be, more of a problem down the track. But we also have here the whip, which does talk about some sort of trouble, some sort of tension. It's quite often a conflict, like a verbal argument and those sorts of things as well. So there may be somebody coming to you with a problem kind of thing this week. Somebody might be coming directly to you with a bit of an issue. And, I do feel, though, that this is actually, it's not necessarily an issue with you, Leo. It's more along the lines of someone coming to you with an issue or a conflict that they are having, because we then see the Stork. Okay, and the Stork really, the Stork is where new ideas are generated. This is where things get stirred up. So for some of you, that this person may be coming to you with this issue, this trouble, this drama, just to try to stir you up. So if it is to do with you, it is to just stir the pot a little bit. It's not actually anything serious. They are just trying to stir the pot. They're trying to poke the bear kind of thing. They're trying to just poke you into action in some kind of a way, good or bad. Sometimes people don't do things in the way that we would choose to do things. And so it's maybe somebody just coming to you with, oh, just stirring the pot, trying to stir trouble just for the hell of it kind of thing, just a bit of drama, to be honest. So for some of you, it may be that. But for others of you, this isn't even to do with you. It's, someone coming to you with their drama, with their trouble, something that's, conflicting within them, because they're coming to you because they want help stirring up new perspectives, new ideas on how to look at that. So they're coming to you to sort of maybe just give them a stir them up into action of what they need to do. So it's kind of like they're just coming to you for some sort of, it's not even so much advice. It's kind of to get, to prod action here, especially, with you seeing the moving swiftly to get the quick results this week. I kind of feel like that's why they're stirring you up, because they're just trying to prod you into quick action, or that's why they're coming to you with this issue, because they're trying to get your idea on how to take action, your your perspective, your ideas, on how can I stir myself into action kind of thing. Okay, it doesn't actually feel like anything hugely dramatic. It's kind of telling me I've covered it all for you there, Leo. So that's what we have for you. And some of you, we may be dealing with an Aries or a Libra as well, with those placements coming through for you there as well, Leo. But that's what we have for you. You are more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to Virgo. Okay, Virgo, what's the important messages for our Virgos? Important messages for Virgo, please. The Bear Spirit, Virgo. I love this energy. Untamed spirit. Allow yourself to run wild and free as you explore your own fierce but gentle nature. See, the bear is quite a conundrum, because it's fierce yet gentle. So, it can be fierce and defensive and very loyal to protecting things, but it's also nurturing, and honey bear and teddy bear. We do have quite a lot of these symbolisms that come along with that bear, and it's because it's an untamed spirit. It's just true to itself. It's wild, and it's it's natural. It's natural to be both of those things. It's not natural to be all sweet and sugar all the time. It's not natural to be all protective and defensive all the time. So the bear spirit is the untamed wildness of both of those things, and that it's okay to be both. That you don't have to be all fierce, all bite all the time. That you can sometimes be that sweet little honey bear as well. So you're exploring that within yourself, exploring both sides of that nature within you this week, and being a little bit wild and free, free to just be how you need to be this week. So, when the day calls for fierceness, you're being a little bit fierce and protective, and when the day calls for you to be sweet little teddy bear energy, you can do that too. And it's very freeing for you to actually embrace both sides of that this week. Clarifying this message for Virgo. Important message for our Virgos this week. I just feel like it's giving both this week. It's just giving as much of both of those. And really embracing that's what people need from you as well. We do have the lily coming through first here. So the lily does talk about, being very emotionally vulnerable with oneself. So being very tapped into your own sense of morality, your own kindness towards yourself, and not holding that fierceness against yourself. For a lot of you, I feel like you've been holding that fierceness against yourself, and now you're just sort of realizing that this is just part of who I am. And do you know what? I'm actually wanting this to stay a part of who I am, because the lily is very long-term energy as well. You're kind of realizing that, do you know what? This has actually really helped me create boundaries within myself and my life, and I really actually like that untamed part of myself that can be fierce but also sweet. We are seeing that once again. We have the bear Okay, so we have the bear on the bear. So we have double bear energy for you. So you really are embracing this bear energy this week. And that's the important message for you, is to understand that it's okay. It's okay for you to be wild and free. It's okay for you to be fierce and defensive when you need to be. But it's also okay for you to be sweet and nurturing when that's needed as well. It's going to be needed this week with your friends. We have the dog energy here as well. So I do feel that there is a couple of side messages coming through here. Because for some of you, this is you supporting your friends, being nurturing and supporting towards those friends, being that sweet little teddy bear to those friends, to that companion, to that, the people that you're loyal to. There's a strong loyalty this week for you. And, for some of you, it's playing out in you being that sweet teddy bear that your friends come to for support. Okay. But for others of you, you're needing to actually be protective and stand up to defend your friends in some kind of a way. So you're needing to bring out that fierceness of the bear energy. So for some of you, it's both. Doing both this week, okay? So, that's you're standing strong. You're loyal to somebody, so you're being fierce and defending them when they need it, and then you're turning around and supporting them when they need that softer side of you. You're being both. You're roaring and clawing as a bear with the defensive angle, but then you're coming back and you're being that soft, fluffy teddy bear, that's supporting them as well. So embracing both sides of that this week. It may be necessary. It feels like it's really, helping somebody around you as well as yourself this week. Okay, Virgo. So that's what we have for you. You are more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to our Libras. Okay, Libra. Important messages for Libra. What does Libra need to know this week? That's like half the deck, Libra. I'm here as they're flying off. I'm hearing a message that Libra wants to know more than they need to know this week for some reason, Libra. Libra, the most important message for Libra this week, please. Okay. Throwing them again. Thanks, Libra, but that time it was 2. Okay, I thought it was just 1, but it was 2. Okay, so we do have the toad spirit as well as the tortoise spirit. Okay, so TNT for some reason. TNT, that may be relevant for someone there this week. The toad spirit is about a leap of faith. All right, jumping in fearlessly, knowing that every small step counts towards your ultimate success. All right, so we're jumping in, we're taking a leap of faith, and then do you know what? We're being very determined. Taking things slow and steady and persevering to achieve your goals and reaping those rewards. So you're jumping in fearlessly, but you're being very determined to kind of stick it out this week. Okay, so you're jumping in head first, and then, whatever I jump into, I'm going to be very determined to, steadily persevere with this. Okay, Libra. Oh my gosh, Libra. What are you doing, Libra? Throwing cards at me. Libra. Important messages for Libra this week, please. We have the house coming through first, Libra. So we do see a lot of stability and security that comes through with the house, a lot of non-movement, but it's very interesting because I keep hearing house in the clouds. The next card we have is the clouds. Okay, I do keep hearing the house in the clouds. You're trying to the foundation, the the non-moving energy is kind of clouding your judgment a little bit. Your head is in the clouds a little bit here. You're overthinking things. But it's because you're very secure in the way that you overthink, that you're so used to overthinking everything that it's hard for you to take a leap of faith and be determined to not do that. So I feel like it's kind of asking for the opposite here, that it's asking for you to allow movement a little bit more, to take a leap of faith and then sticking it out to, get your head out of the clouds a little bit. And when I say your head's in the clouds, it's about, being stuck in overthinking and being stuck in your own anxiety, because that's comfortable to you. That's your safety zone, is to be an overthinker, to overthink every little thing. That's your safety zone. To take a leap of faith is actually not safe for you. That's not the safety zone, because it feels risky. It feels crazy, and it feels unknown, because it's not comfortable. The comfortable things for you is to just sit back and think about things a million times before you take any chance. You try to be very logical and rational with what you're doing, and that's what you're comfortable with, is thinking things through so much that it confuses you even more, thinking every little thing through so much that it creates anxiety within you about every little thing, because you just can't stop overthinking it. So the unsafe zone, the uncomfortable zone, is for you to take that leap of faith and be very determined to stick it out, that I'm going to take a chance on not thinking something through, on doing something without thinking, doing something a little bit more impulsively this week, and especially when it comes to your money, to be honest. So this feels like an impulsive purchase. For some of you, it may have to do with your home, okay, or with a house, or something for your family. So it's kind of giving me just little things. It is giving me little examples here, like you're taking a leap of faith and you're seeing something. It's like you go to the shop and you see something and you're like, oh, I really need to do my research. I'm just going to use like an air fryer as an example here. Okay, so you go to the shop and you see an air fryer and you say to yourself, oh, I really need to do my research so that I can overthink if I need an air fryer or not, so that I can think through every little thing, before I buy an air fryer. Maybe I should, but then you're taking a leap of faith and you're going, do you know what? I'm just going to buy an air fryer and I'm going to make it work. I'm determined to, I'm going to stick it out. I'm going to make it work. So it's something like that. It doesn't feel like anything hugely dramatic here, but it kind of keeps telling me the air fryer is a good example for you to understand what I'm talking about this week, Libra, that it is something that, rather than overthinking it, you're kind of jumping in and just buying something impulsively this week, most likely for your home. Maybe it even is an air fryer, something along those lines, where you're kind of just like, well, do you know what? I'm just going to do it. And I'll make it work one way or another. And it actually really does. It does really actually help create, like, it helps you save money in the long run, and it helps you, create a bigger sense of abundance within yourself, because you're like, that's it. I've bought this. I've got to, now I'm determined to, do as many different things as I can with it. And you find out all these things that you can do with it. And to the point where you end up using this so much that you more than get your money's worth out of this item. You find ways, things you can use that for, that, maybe nobody even knows about. And here you are all of a sudden, oh, it's really great for this and this and this. And everyone's like, you can't use an air fryer for that. And Libra turns around and, yeah, it's great. It turned out perfect. And so it's kind of like you're inventing something a little bit here as well, just because you're so determined that this is going to work, this impulsive decision, I'm going to make it work. So I'm going to get out of my comfort zone this week a little bit and do something a little bit impulsive and make it work one way or another. Interesting energy, Libra. So that's what we've got for you. You are more than welcome to check your other placements and see if that, gives you a bit of extra information for your week. But we will move on over to Scorpio. Okay. Scorpio, the important messages that Scorpio needs right now. What's the important message for our Scorpios? The Fox Spirit. Strategy, Scorpio. Employ the power of your vision and long-term planning to bring your ideas to life. So really needing to sort of think a couple of steps ahead at the moment, really enjoying that long-term vision. Pardon me, sorry. Still getting over this cough, Scorpio. But it's all about bringing your long-term goals into your reality right now, Scorpio, that it's time to sort of think a few moves ahead. If I do this now, what's going to happen from there? What's going to happen from there? What's going to happen from there? So definitely being very cunning, very clever about what you're doing at the moment. The fox really does look after itself first and foremost as well in your own survival. How can you survive? What's the best way that you can survive? How do you see yourself surviving long term with what's going on in your life this week? Okay, there's some stuff I feel like you can enact at the moment that is really going to, it might not pay off today, but it's going to pay off, in the long term with that strategy. Clarifying this message for Scorpio. Important messages for Scorpio. So you're kind of laying the groundwork this week, Scorpio. Definitely keeping your dreams, your goals, your wishes in mind here. We have the stars coming through first. So, and that's part of the strategy, is really, really deciphering what my long-term goals are. It's time to sort of think of a 5-year plan kind of thing, Scorpio, that you're really needing to sit down with yourself at the moment and work out, what do I wish for in my long term? 5 years from now, 10 years from now, where do I want to be? And then work your way backwards is sort of what's coming through. Having a lot of hope and optimism that the chance meetings that you're having at the moment, we have the garden coming through there as well. So I do feel as though this is chance meetings, really, really thinking about accepting invitations that are offered to you at the moment, because not because you want to go right here, right now, because you need that in your life right here, right now, but because it might actually pay off for you in the long run. Or how will that pay off for you in the long run if you, have that chance meeting now and you enable that, accept that invitation now. You might meet somebody, those sorts of things, being very sociable and public with, yourself at the moment. And I really do feel this has got something to do with a chance meeting that is happening this week. It may not even reveal itself to you now why you needed to meet this person, but in the long term there is something that's going to play out in the long run. We do also have the fish coming through there as well. So this plays into your wealth construction for yourself. So the long-term goals when it comes to the wealth of your life, the abundance so it's not just one thing either. Okay, this could actually be multiple the areas of life that this is playing into in the future. So really, really structuring some goals for yourself, and how do you meet them in the middle, between there is this other message coming through about the strategy of the garden being the meeting of in the middle of the fish and the stars. So the long-term goals and the things I truly wish for, the things I dream of that may seem impossible, those dreams. And then on the other side of that, we've got the money aspect, the financial aspect. So we're kind of sitting in the reality of where we are right now on the material level. So thinking about long-term material goals is definitely going to be a plus here. And we're kind of meeting in the middle of how do I make my long-term goals meet my current financial status, and what do I need to do in order to, you know, make those two things somehow meet in the middle, even if it's not right here right now, even if it's 5 years from now. How do I get those two things to meet in the middle where I've got the financials to cover the wish, you know, that kind of thing, or I've got the wish so that when the financials do increase, that I already know where they're going to go and what's going to happen with that money, that kind of thing. So it's kind of meeting in the middle of, you know, it's and it's telling me, you know, elaborate dreams too, impossible dreams as well, things that may seem far-fetched with your current situation may not be far-fetched in 5-10 years from now, with those sorts of things. So it's really needing to plan things out about how do we meet these things in the middle, what needs to happen in the middle of, you know, the wishes and the current material placement, what needs to happen in the middle for those wishes to actually eventuate and come into reality for ourselves here. So it's kind of just long-term planning, but also not restricting your long-term planning, you know, to a certain financial that you're stuck at now, because your financial at 10 years from now may be very, very different to look at. So your goals and your dreams could have much more opportunity to, you know, become reality in a different financial situation. So it's definitely strategizing and meeting those two in the middle, that you know, and accepting invitations. There's a chance meeting that keeps popping up here, that may really have a long-term impact on your life. So paying attention to those random little meetings that you're having out in public and on a social level. You're meeting people, you know, publicly or socially, that you know, there may actually be a necessity to sort of leave a good impression on those people, even if you feel like you're never going to see them again, because it could actually have a long-term impact on your life here as well. So yeah, very interesting week for you. But I feel like it's one of those things that this week you're not going to sort of understand the significance of this week until, you know, much later on, but this week is actually a significant week, so definitely make sure you are you know, putting your best foot forward this week when it comes to your social engagements and things like that. Okay, but that's what we have for you. You are more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to our Sagittarius. Okay, Sagittarius, important message for our Sagittarius. The important messages for Sagittarius, please. Oh, the chameleon spirit. The many colors of the chameleon. Okay, blending in or standing out as the situation requires to fit the needs of the moment. So you really are blending in and sticking out a little bit this week, as you know, as required, I suppose, you know, but it's kind of not being afraid to blend in when you need to blend in and camouflage yourself in amongst everyone else, but also stand out and, you know, be bright and multicolored and be that rainbow, you know, this week as well. It's kind of that energy of putting on your business face when you need to, adjusting. It's, you know, it's not normally a message I'd pass out too much here, but it's kind of, you know, having that mask for different occasions this week and utilizing that to your own benefit. So if you're going somewhere, you know, very posh and fancy, making sure we've got that well-groomed, well-behaved mannerisms. But then if we're, you know, more casual, that we're maybe standing out because we're so well-groomed and well-mannered in that more casual kind of setting. So really adjusting your mask to what's being asked of you here. There's something else coming through, but it's just not clarifying. So we'll have a look here with the lenormand. Sagittarius, important message for Sagittarius this week, please. It's kind of thinking on your feet and adapting to the situations you're in this week. The need to learn more about people around you as well. We have the book and the feminine coming through first. So there is, like, you know, definitely a need for you to be, you know, perceived as well educated, that you know what you're talking about, that you have done the research this week. Okay, definitely something about that coming through here. Needing to be perceived as knowledgeable about what you're talking about, that but you're doing so in a soft, nurturing kind of manner. So I do feel that for some of you, you maybe ask for advice this week as well about something, because you're seen as, knowledgeable and nurturing in the way that you're teaching this week. Learning more about other people's emotions, or reading between the lines a little bit on other people's emotions this week, so that you can so that you know which mask to put on a little bit here, that you're kind of learning about, observing and learning more about the people around you before you're revealing yourself, if that makes sense. Because we do also have the sun coming through as well. So it's very much the sun reveals things and brings things out into the light. So you're really needing to be very aware of, what exactly you're presenting, what part of your life, what part of yourself you're presenting and allowing under the limelight this week, allowing to come to the surface and be seen, I suppose. So it's just, it feels like there's a specific situation this week that the happiest result you can gain from this is by studying the situation and the people involved before you reveal yourself completely, if that makes sense. It's showing yourself in a very educated manner, very knowledgeable manner, not revealing your whole life story all in one go, not revealing where you want to go from here either. Like maintaining a little bit of an illusion about yourself, maintaining a bit of mystery, and not revealing everything about yourself this week. It feels like it's going to lead to the happiest results for you this week with situations that you're definitely fitting the situation and not revealing yourself completely until you're aware of what parts of yourself to reveal. So I hope that makes sense. That's what I'm getting for you there, Sagittarius, and it's not really giving me much more information than that. So that's why it's kind of like blending in a little bit until you know exactly what parts of yourself you need to stand out in. Be very clever about how you're approaching others this week. Okay. So that's what we have for you. You are more than welcome to check your other placements and see if that helps shine a little bit of extra information for you. Subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to Capricorn. Capricorn, the important message Capricorn needs to hear. Important messages for Capricorn, please. The Toad Spirit. Quite a few signs getting this one this week. We do have, I believe, Taurus and was it Libra? Both got this as well. Jumping in fearlessly, knowing that every small step counts towards your ultimate success. So taking a little bit of a leap of faith, jumping in the deep end and not worrying about where you land, knowing that doesn't matter whether you land on that lily pad first go or not, the fact that you're jumping in and having a go is what's ultimately going to lead you to success here. Not being afraid to jump in and make a mistake, not being afraid to just jump in and try. Fearlessness. Taking a leap of faith towards something that you want this week, Capricorn. Clarify this message for Capricorn, please. Important messages for Capricorn. Important messages for Capricorn, please. giving it your all, giving it your heart and your knowledge. You already have the knowledge, Capricorn. Interesting. We have the flower coming through first here, which is giving your all, giving it, what's that song? It's telling me that song, it's telling me that song, hit me with your best shot, but it's singing it differently. Give it your best shot. Give it your best leap of faith. Give it your best shot. You're giving your all. You're giving a little bit more of your time, your love, your energy into things this week, especially your love. We have the heart coming through here. Giving your love without question, giving your love without fear. That you maybe it could be as simple as telling somebody that you care about them, even if you don't know how they feel about you, Capricorn, that you're making it known that I care about you and I want you to succeed, and I want this to succeed, or something along those lines. You're giving your heart to somebody, for some of you this week. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's a romantic sense either. It's you're giving someone love and support more so than anything, I feel, especially with the book coming through here as well. You're telling somebody that, look, I want to be here for you. I'm going to be here for you. I can help guide you. I can help, help you understand. I can help you learn. I can help you grow. All that sort of stuff. That I'm willing to give it to you because I love and care about you, and I'm willing to take a leap of faith on you. I do feel for a lot of you this has got to do with a person. Any extra clarity we can give Capricorn in regard to this, please? I'm willing to give you my next chapter, my, knowledge about me. I'm willing to share myself with you. It does feel like love for a couple of you here. And you're sort of jumping in the deep end, even though you're scared. Like, I do feel that there is a fear here, Capricorn, from you, but you're going to jump in the deep end anyway and just give it a shot anyway. Any clarity for Capricorn, please? It's a conversation for some of you. We have the clover coming through first, which is the exact same as that leap of faith. That's taking a chance, taking a risk, investing in something, in someone, learning more about someone, learning more about something. We have the birds here, a conversation, a phone call. You're jumping in the deep end and you're giving it your best shot, and you're that even if you fail, that it's going to be okay. Long term, it's going to lead you to success. That you've done this. That it seems to be more about self-knowledge, Capricorn. That you are the reason that you're taking such a leap of faith. You're taking such a risk. You're doing something so fearlessly, is to remind yourself that you can do something fearlessly. Even if I'm afraid, I can do it anyway. It feels like it's very sort of self-reaffirming here. And it does feel like it, ultimately, that even if it doesn't work out for you this time, that it will work out for you one day. It just feels like it's just part of the story. It's just part of what needs to happen for you right now. It's not telling me any more than that. It may be to do with a conversation or a phone call for some of you, and you're taking a leap of faith to be honest and open and vulnerable and come from a loving place with that in some way, shape or form. You may want to check your other placements and see if you can get a little bit extra info about what that is about, because it does feel like it's going to be like totally different things for different members of the collective. But that's what I've got for you today, Capricorn. You're more than welcome to check those other placements. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we will move on to Aquarius. Aquarius. Important message for Aquarius. Important messages for our Aquarius. Nearly lost half the deck, Aquarius. What's the important message Aquarius needs to hear? Water elemental, Aquarius. Purification. It's time for a cleanse. Yeah. Dive deep into your emotions, finding healing and renewal in the depths of your being. Okay, so it's time for a hard reset within your own self, to dive down deep. Dive down deep. It feels like shadow work, to be honest, here, Aquarius. We will be doing the shadow work reading over the weekend, so definitely keep an eye out for that one. I do feel for a lot of you there may be some important stuff for you this month, Aquarius. It is actually full moon in Aquarius this month too, so it will definitely be a strong full moon period for you, regardless. So it will be sort of, very close to the end of Mercury retrograde. And then we've got that full moon. We've got the Lionsgate portal the day before. So it's very strong energy, especially for you this full moon. So definitely keep an eye out for that particular video. It does. I am getting a secondary message here that it's time for a bit of a deep cleanse around you as well. So it's time to, clean your house, change things around in your house, clear out that friends list, get rid of those people that you don't talk to, that sort of stuff coming through as well. Aquarius, important messages for Aquarius. Hard reset, Aquarius. It's time to start fresh. It may be hard, I'm not going to lie, because we do have the panda, the bear coming through first here. So, this is, sometimes we don't want to let go of things. Sometimes, we want to try to nurture and protect those things, and we get a bit defensive trying to let go of certain things in our life. But you need to have, that the strength and the confidence this week to really do a hard reset on yourself at the moment, and stand tall and strong, knowing exactly who you are, and the fact that this is necessary for you to dive deep and remove those things that are no longer serving you from your life. Whether they're things in your life, whether that's people in your life, whether that's within you yourself. It really is time to, stand in your own power and stand tall and strong, and don't, don't be afraid that, yes, it may be hard to let go of some of these things, but it's time to nurture the good within yourself here. We have the fish coming through, as well as the heart there as well. So we do see abundance and wealth generation with that fish energy. I'm just kind of getting that there's things going swimmingly for you. This hard reset, it's kind of like a hard reset for you financially and with love as well. It feels like for some of you that you are needing to deal with some heart-based issues, some heart-based healing, deep, but also to do with the way that you deal with money. You need to have a little bit more extra, compassion for yourself, to do with spending. I'm picking up on that as well. But it's about, what makes you feel abundant, what makes you feel like your heart is full in this world, and really, diving deep into those things, removing everything else. If it doesn't make you feel like, oh, I'm the richest person in the world because I've got this in my life. It's really understanding what you're grateful for, what feels like blessings, what feels like love energy in your life, and removing the stuff that doesn't. Okay, being very strong, to strong and powerful, making strong and powerful, boundaries around yourself that, that's not serving me, that's not pure, that's not love energy, I don't want it. Needing to be very strong with yourself this week. There may be, the need to remove some stuff from your life. There may be the need to, embrace the good in your life this week. Okay, so that's what we have for you. You are more than welcome to check your other placements. Like I said, keep an eye out for that shadow work reading. Subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to our Pisces. Okay. Pisces, the important message for our Pisces. What is the important messages for Pisces to hear? Ooh, unicorn spirit, wishcraft, Pisces, manifestation energy. Dream it and it shall be. Use your imagination as you wield your own magic and make your dreams come true. Okay, I am picking up for some of you here unicorns, actual, like seeing unicorns may be signs that you're on the right path this week, maybe indicators of what choice to make this week. So if you're not knowing what to do, where to go, look for the unicorn this week. Look for the magic. Okay, look for what makes you feel like that's magical, that's wondrous, that's magical, that's where dreams lie. Okay, there's just something magical this week. Manifestation energy is very strong for you this week, Pisces. What's most important for Pisces to know right now? Important messages for Pisces, please. There may be some changes coming through for you this week as well, Pisces. We do have the stork coming through first. It's like new perspectives, new ideas on this person. I am seeing a person coming through here. We have the dog and the feminine coming through here. So the dog is a platonic friend or a somebody that you're very loyal to, most likely a feminine energy. It does feel very female. I don't normally genderize, but it does feel very female. So it may be a female friend. It may be, it may be a family member. For some of you, I'm picking up sister. Although, the feminine quite often does give a very mothering type energy. It usually is a woman a little bit older than you. It can also sometimes refer to being a better friend to yourself here as well. But especially if you are a female, Pisces. But I do feel for a lot of you, this is like a female friend or a female family member that you are very loyal to, that you do have a strong companionship with, very, very understanding, compassionate energy in your life. But there's something about needing to see that from a different perspective, needing to stir something up with that relationship. Something's just not, it's not meeting what you wish for. Your dreams for that relationship are just not completely being realized. And there's just something needing to be stirred up here so that we can put some new energy into that relationship, so that we can reach the next level of that friendship in a way, like, oh yeah, it's a good friendship, but it's just missing this thing. And you're stirring something up this week in order to push that, to get that as well, to make it kind of perfect. So it's kind of like using your imagination is definitely important here, because the stork really does stir up totally new ideas, new ways of thinking that you haven't, maybe thought of before, new ways of doing things that you haven't maybe thought of before. So maybe there's another like something else that you can be doing here that you just haven't even thought of, in regards to this person, to really get the completeness that you're wanting there. It just feels like there's just something missing from that relationship, that friendship, that support. Maybe you're just missing a little bit of support, or a way that someone supports us. Maybe they're just not supporting us in the way that we would wish for. Maybe we want to support them in a new kind of a way, and we're just not sure how. This week is where your imagination really comes into play, and you're very creative, thinking outside the box with this. Okay. Any extra information you can give to Pisces here, please? Any clarity or extra information for Pisces about what this is about, please? Yeah, it's something to do here. We've got the anchor coming through first, so it's like you've been just feeling a little bit stuck, I feel, with this relationship. There's just a bit of stuck energy. And I feel like that's maybe part of why the stork is here as well, because that's a new way of thinking, that it's not stuck, it's just stable. It's not holding you back. It's holding you steady. You know that that's safe and secure and dependable, that it's going to be there for you, and so it's just maybe the way that you're looking at something within this relationship, that it's not stuck. You feel like it's stuck. You feel like it's holding you back, but that's maybe not the right way of looking at that. It's dependable. It's reliable. You know that that person is going to react that way, a certain way. If you go to someone with asking for advice, you know what sort of advice they're going to give you. It's reliable. It helps anchor you, through the storm, so to speak. That no matter what else is going on in your life, you know that that person is going to be like this. They're not going to suddenly turn into somebody completely different and act totally different. And, it's reliable. Because we also have the cross here as well. So there is, a very strong message there of, having faith that this is fine. Like, I feel like a lot of you feel like it's just, maybe that's what the issue is here, that's what's not right about this, is that you're just feeling like it's stuck, that it's not going anywhere. But it's not that it's not going anywhere, it's that it's reliable, and that it's destined to be that way. It's a very destined connection. We do have the cross on your side, and there may be a sensation here sometimes, with that stuck energy, especially that, responsibilities, it's a burden to maintain this relationship. But, I don't feel like that's necessarily, once again, that feels like the backside of that anchor, that's why it's feeling stuck, because sometimes it does feel like a responsibility. It does feel like a burden sometimes, but then we see the other side and we're like, no, it's actually not a burden, because it's actually a very close spiritual bond here. I have faith that this is just, how that relationship feels sometimes, because, maybe understanding that we both have responsibilities outside of this connection, and maybe that's all it is. So it's just looking at things a little bit differently, and using your imagination to really ask yourself what it is that you're wanting. What is it that your dream come true with this relationship would even look like? And don't be afraid to ask for that, because I feel like it's very, very possible for you. It's just maybe just shift in perspective, coming up with a new idea on how to approach someone or something this week, and it will actually, help us get back to that strong sense of faith, that strong sense of destiny, that spiritual connection here, that dependability and reliability, rather than feeling the burden and the stuck energy. Okay, so that's what we have for you today, Pisces. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements as well. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all again soon.